dating back to like the 1700s.
It's over there. This is not the entire family.
Right.
No.
It's not a family tree, but it's what she put together.
But I put together just like a little PowerPoint that, because what I wanted to do is remember that while we called this the prank family reunion for Pope Regano, Arteezy, Nisita, and Kuhn, that the common ancestor here, who's not mentioned, is the Longo sisters. And so this is really a Longo family reunion. And so I did this little PowerPoint, and I said, you know, we left out the L, but what were we going to do with the L? Prankle? Prankle. They just don't work, so it's all good. So, and then I said, where does our story begin? It begins in Terlizzi, which is right about here on the heel of Italy.
Can we have a bigger screen?
I know, we don't.
Joe, you go to see
Puglia.
No.
That's bigger. That's bigger.
That's better.
In the province of Bari, so that we pranks are buddies.
Big ass over there.
That's why we like four. Which is why we get the.
You know, our roots run very deep in Turkey.
That's the second bonus day.
I traced them way back, but we're only going to talk about from our great-grandparents because that's who came over. So our great-grandfather was Vincenzo Longo, and he was born in Terlizzi on December 12, 1874, to Agostino Longo, who was a muratore, or a bricklayer, and his wife, Teresa Denoia. Thanks for going before I was done, Joe. He was one of six children. There were 5 boys, 1 girl. The girl died in Italy, but all 5 brothers came to the United States. All right. Angela was an only child. Her parents got married much later in life, 43 and 42 years old. And according to birth records, she was born 5 weeks later.
Okay, how many rooms that happened to?
His father, Vincenzo, was also a bricklayer. And, that's all right. I want to know what I'm talking about. And he married Angela Greco, who was a seamstress. I meant our grandmothers were father Vincenzo. He married a seamstress on January 4th, 1900, named Angela Greco. He was 25 and she was 17. Illegal. My grandmother, who was their first child, this picture is actually the 3 of them. It's Vincenzo, Angela, and my grandmother. And she was born September 5th, 1900. They were married 8 months prior to that. We like to say she was born early.
Of course. That's so politically correct.
And then on July 23rd, 1902, there was a son that was born. He died 8 days later in Italy. And then a year later, Zika Kell came along.
That struck a nerve.
They came to Italy in 1906. Zika Kell and her parents, but my grandmother was left in Italy, and we don't really know why.
Maybe she wanted to stay there.
Oh, she knew this would happen eventually.
Somebody said that she was sick and couldn't make the trip, but I don't know if that's true. Anyway, this is a picture of the boat, the actual boat they came on.
Wow. Hey, it's not in my
on the Algeria.
another good thing.
And the funny thing is when they came, on the next one, it's the next one, never mind. And they settled in Harrison. And that's where Aunt Josie was born in 1907, a year after they came here. Her grandma. And
Shout out to Josie.
shout out to Josie.
You never think.
Aunt Josie was born on June 15th, 1907. I have her birth records. All these birth certificates are in a binder in the back.
Here or in
Here. Here.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Everybody's here
All
now.
right, so after Aunt Josie's born, what happens here is a little unclear. Lori has a little story. Yeah, didn't you tell me about the broken heart? Oh, was it Lee? Lee had a story.
Come on,
What happened is a little unclear because Aunt Josie's born in 1907. Angela's mother dies in 1908. And they're back in Italy by 1909. So, we don't really know what happens. Do you know what happens?
My grandfather was here. Okay? Your mother, your grandmother, Aunt Frances was in Italy. My grandmother came here to visit my grandmother. I mean, my grandfather. My grandmother became pregnant with my mother.
Right.
Auntie Josie.
She was born here.
Right.
Then she wanted to go back to Italy. She says, I got 2 daughters. What do we do? And my grandfather says, you go back to Italy, don't come by. And they went back to Italy. They went
But
back to-
only Francis came. Teresa didn't come the first time.
No, first time was just my grandmother came. Your grandmother and Aunt Frances did.
No, only my grandmother. Aunt Frances came. She was on the ship's manifest that she came with Angela and Vincenzo. And then they go back. He stays.
Yes, he stayed.
Hey, Vinny, they lied to you.
Year alone.
And he stayed for 15 years. But what I'm saying is unclear is we don't know how she died. She goes back. We don't know what happened.
Grandma said she died of a broken heart.
Somebody said she died of a broken
Grandma
heart.
said she died of a broken heart because he was widowed at age 44.
Right. Yeah, she died young because by 1915 she was gone. And then in 1909, back there is her Aunt Josie. When they went back to Italy, they had to register Aunt Josie's birth. So she was registered, and we learned that she was baptized at Resurrection Church in Rye, New York, by Reverend William Hayes. And that is also back there if anybody's interested. And keep going. In 1917, he's already a widow, but Vincenzo, he gets his papers. What's wrong? I can stop.
No, come on.
Take the
All right.
Awesome.
Mom, you're cut off.
He applies for citizenship and he gets his United States citizenship in 1917. In 1921, this photo we believe was taken in Italy and sent back to him of the 3 girls. Yep. You can go. I'm trying to get through it faster.
You do an awesome job.
No, keep going.
You want to see the picture?
Yeah, no.
So you could go Auntie Josie and
Because, see, Aunt Josie there is not 14. When she comes back for good, she's 14. So she's little there, so we think it was sent back. So in 1921, he goes back to Italy, he gets the 3 girls, because the story Lee said is they were staying with an aunt who was abusive. And so he went back to get them and bring them to the United States with him. And this is the actual boat they came here on. The second time. That's the sister in Ellis Island. Yeah, both of these. That's how I know our Nani didn't come the first time. Because she doesn't affirm. Somebody told me she was sick. I don't remember which one said. It's the boat. Anyway, that's the boat they came on. Wait, this is cool. On this, listen.
Okay.
Zeke Cal was listed as a dwarf at 5 feet 5 inches tall. Everybody on the boat was 5 feet 5 inches tall. The other thing that happened.
Hey, at ease. Listen up.
That boat was the Giuseppe Verdi.
Hey, what are you?
The other thing that was funny is when you look at where they were going, it said Arizona, New York. And I know it's because they went Arizona. Go to Arizona, right? And they just so Harrison became Arizona. I just got some stuff. I talked about memories I had, like of Zeke Kell, who never got married, and how she was responsible for taking care of her father. And her whole life, she was always taking care of somebody. She was a built-in babysitter. And sometimes she was really scary, but she always had a heart of gold.
She really wouldn't
She hated to be, she was afraid I'm trying to tell her.
TJ, come on.
You don't have a backup plan. She melts down, store's open.
I remember being little and money was really tight. Do you remember this? And she came over with a bag of all her spare change. And she told my mother to go buy us kids new shoes. And I just always remember that because she was so scary, and yet you people were like, she was the mean one, right? But she had this heart of gold, and we sometimes forget that. We all, you know. And so, anyway.
Let's sing it now.
Okay, and then, wait, you missed, we gotta talk about, this is funny, because my father, you know, so my grandmother married Michael Regano in 1927. There's a picture. This picture is kind of cool. It's the two sisters, the reason we're here, Josie and Tessie, and my grandfather. And she married him in 1927, and my father was her firstborn. And she made some pact. She had trouble getting pregnant, right? Something. She made a pact with God. She made a pact with God that if he would let her have a baby, every Wednesday for the rest of her life she would wear a brown dress. And she had my father, and every Wednesday for the rest of her life she wore a brown dress. And then they were also blessed with my Aunt Sandy and my Uncle Vinny, and all three children are named after grandparents, their grandparents. And then Aunt Josie, I don't know what year she got married. Married Uncle Joe, who was from outside in the area of Messina, and they had 4 children: Anna Vincenzo, Angela, and Joseph, also known as JoJo. And that's their wedding picture, if you haven't seen it. It's almost done because I don't put all of us in it, so don't worry about it.
Oh, well, then I feel ripped off.
I'm here.
Whatever. I'll do that.
Yeah, he died. We missed that part. I said that.
You missed it. She had a...
I'll tell you about it later. So today we celebrate our Longo family heritage. So to Tessie and Josie, hasta luego.